Okay, today's lesson is students will be able to find slope from 2 points. And all we mean by 2 points is just two ordered pairs, which we can see right down here. We're looking at two ordered pairs. Okay, before we get going though, I do want to refresh our memory on something that we should absolutely have memorized by now. Whenever we think about slope, first of all, the variable that we use is always m. And then before you guys go to bed every night, you should be thinking slope equals rise over run, okay, which is equal to how much does my y change? Again, the triangle is delta, which means change in, over how much my x changes. Okay. Well, we already learned that to figure out how much y changes, we do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay. Now so far this part has meant nothing to you because we haven't really used it all that much. Besides, I guess we did use it when we were looking at graphs, and counting the number of boxes that y changed. But now we're actually going to use the algebra to figure out what the slope is when we have the 2 points. Okay, so first of all, let's get down some really important steps that we're going to be using. Step 1, okay, is we are going to label the pairs, okay, or label the ordered pairs, okay. And here is how we're going to do this, okay. If you look at this first one, we don't even know what numbers are in there yet. I haven't given them to you, but we know that this first one is going to be an x. The second one is a y. Same with this one. The first one is an x. The second one is a y. Now, which ordered pair is this one right here? Well, this is ordered pair number 1. So we're going to write x1, y1. And all that 1 means is, oh, that's just a first ordered pair. Okay. This is the second ordered pair. So what do you think we're going to write? Well, x2, y2. Again, that just shows that's a second ordered pair. So that's what we mean by labeling the ordered pairs. Okay. The second step that we're going to do, fix that S a little bit. Second step that we're going to do is we're going to do a rough sketch. We're going to do a rough sketch of what these points are going to look like. Okay. Now, I actually want to give you the points so that we can start to do the rough sketch. So, example number 1 here. Let's do the points. Let's do a +2 and a -1. You guys are filling this in with me. +2, -1, and then -4 and +1. Okay, those are the points that we're going to use. All right, let's just do a very rough sketch. Okay, if I have a coordinate plane, and again, I'm just going to do it small. This is just a rough sketch. Let's graph this first point. Okay, well, I start from the origin. It is a +2, so I'm going to go right 2 and then down 1. So that point is going to be about right there. Okay, again, doesn't have to be exact. And then the next point is -4, 1. So I'm going to go left 4 and up 1. So it'd be right about there. Okay. Now, if you connect these, is this slope going to be a positive or a negative slope? Well, if you put your pencil at the bottom and trace it up, your pencil is going to be going to the left, so I know that my slope had better be negative. So we do the rough sketch just to make sure we see, oh, this is just going to be a negative slope. Okay. Step 3. Okay, step 3 is the slope formula. Okay, we're going to write out the slope formula. Okay, what is the slope formula? We've already gone over that. We already wrote that once. Okay, but let's write it out again over here. So what we're going to write for the slope formula is m equals rise over run, which is equal to how much does y change, or the change in y over the change in x, which is equal to y2 minus y1, which is over x2 minus x1. Okay, so we're going to write out the slope formula. Okay, now step number 4 is we are going to substitute in. So step number 4 is substitute. Substitute. Okay, make sure I spelled that correctly. Now, whenever we substitute, we already know this. Whenever we substitute, we have to use parentheses. So I'm just going to write this out now. I'm going to put parentheses around these because I have to, when I substitute, use parentheses. So now I'm just going to rewrite it with blank parentheses. Again, this is an objective that we've already done now. Once to this point, it's just review of what we already know how to do. Okay. So now I'm going to plug in. Now we have to look carefully here. Okay. The first one is y2. Well, where is y2? y2 is right up here, right? So what is the value for y2? Well, the value for y2 is 1. And if you need to like draw an arrow showing where you got that from, draw that arrow. Okay. y1. Well, y1 is right here. -1. Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you guys right now the most common mistake is students will not put the negative with the 1 because they'll say, oh, it's already subtraction right here. That means same thing as a negative. I don't really need to put that negative in there too. You absolutely do. That's why we use parentheses so that you don't make that mistake. Okay. Now, let's go over, so now let's plug in our x2. x2 is -4. Okay. And again, x2 is right here, -4. And our x1 is right here. Our x1 is 2. Okay. Now, what I always like to do is, again, I don't like to use calculators. I like to press my own mind. But you guys always double check on your calculator. Okay. How do we get rid of minus and negative? Change it to plus positive. Okay. So what's 1 plus +1? Well, that would be 2. Okay. And then what's -4 minus 2? Change that to plus negative if I want. Okay, and then that will equal -6. Okay, so step 4, again, we substitute in, and let's just write with that, substitute and simplify. Okay, substitute in and then simplify, and that just means figure out what the numerator equals, figure out what the denominator equals. Okay, now, a big part of simplifying that students oftentimes forget, okay, can we leave this fraction the way it is, 2 over -6? The answer better be no. Whenever we have fractions, whenever we think about simplifying, we also have to, part of simplifying is to reduce. Okay, so a positive over a negative, okay, and you guys should hopefully have more room. I have to write a little bit bigger. A positive over a negative we know is a negative. And then 2 over 6, okay, both of these are divisible by 2. So that would be 1 over 3. Okay. My final answer, again, okay, all of this started with the m, right? And we're finding the slope. M equals -1/3. You notice I didn't write it with my negative sign. A lot of times I see this from students. Boom, boom, boom. 1/3. Okay, this is a triple equal to sign. Okay, that's not how we write it. Make sure you put plenty of space in between your equal to sign and your negative. Okay, now let's go back and make sure that we answer the question correctly. It said find the slope. Okay, so our answer had better be m equals of a line that passes through that. Now the other thing, go back to this rough sketch. We said it was a negative slope. Do we have a negative slope? And the answer is yes, we do have a negative slope. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that this is the correct answer, and it checks out with our rough sketch as well. Okay, all right, again, if you have questions on that, pause it, rewind it, do what you need to do. We're going to go on to example number 2. Okay, example number 2, let's use the ordered pairs. Let's use 3, let me zoom in a little bit. So let's use 3, -4. For the second ordered pair, let's use 3, and then 2. Okay. All right, so let's follow the steps. Step 1, label the ordered pairs. Okay, I'm going to do this below since I don't have any room above. Okay, again, to do that, watch this last time, then I'm going to have you do it the rest. Here's how I do it. This is X, this is Y. This is X, this is Y. Which ordered pair is this? 1, 1. Which ordered pair is this? 2, 2. Okay? You'll get in the habit of that, and it'll take you 2 seconds to label those, and that will help you make sure that you plug it into the right one. Okay? All right, step number 2 is the rough sketch. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to do a rough sketch. So point 3, -4. Well, I would go right 3 and then down 4. So it'd be about right there. Okay? 3, 2. Well, right 3, up 2 would be about right there. If we connect these, what do you notice about this line? Okay, well, that's a vertical line. Right now in our head, we should be thinking, well, I know the slope of a vertical line, because what's going to happen? Remember slope, sledding? What's going to happen if you try sledding down a vertical line? You're going to tumble and die. Okay? How much could you define how much fun it was sledding down that line? No, you couldn't even define it because you're dead. Therefore, we know that the slope, okay, the answer to this is going to be m equals undefined. Okay? That's another reason why we do the rough sketch, because we can find that out very quickly. Okay? But you also need to show the math for how that would look. Okay? So let's, again, prove that it's undefined. So I'm going to write out my slope formula, which is step number 3. So m is equal to the rise over the run, which is equal to the change in y over change in x, okay, which is equal to, and don't complain about how long this takes to write. Again, you should be able to write this in about 5 seconds once you really get quick at it, and 5 seconds is well worth it to get it correct. Okay. Plus, we really want to make sure that you have this memorized, because a lot of times students will put the x on top or just really mix it up because they don't have it memorized. Okay, so now I'm going to substitute it. Now, another way that I like to show my work is I like to actually put the parentheses above. Don't forget the minus. So parentheses minus. This is the way it's going to look every single time. Parentheses minus parentheses over parentheses minus parentheses. Okay, I like to put it this way because now I can very easily see, oh, what goes here? My y2 goes here. So what was my y2? It was 2. What's my y1? -4. Okay, what's my x2? 3. What's my, oh, I'm sorry, this is supposed to be x1, isn't it? I made a blunder. Okay, x1 is also 3. All right, now let's simplify these. Okay, 2, change to black here. 2 minus -4, change it to plus positive, or you can just, oh, I'm sorry, or you can just do it on your calculator. I'm actually gonna, whoa boy. Let me go back. Okay, I lost my work. I hit the wrong button, but we can still see. You should have already had this. Okay, this turned into plus positive 4, so we have 6 over 0. Okay, do this on your calculator. Do 6 divided by 0. And you're going to find out you're going to get an error. Okay? Anytime we're talking slope and we get an error, we know that the answer to this will be m equals undefined. Okay? Your calculator can't even do it. Okay? So the answer is m equals undefined for this one. Okay, let's go on to example 3. So, example 3. It says, find the slope of a line. So what should my answer be? I know my answer should be m equals something that passes through the point. Oops. Okay, I'm going to give you, let me erase this quick. The point that I'm going to give you is, for example, 3, let's do -6 and -2. And then let's also do 10 and -8. Okay. Now I want to save room because I actually want to add one more example to these notes. So let's come all the way over here. I'm going to come all the way over here on the left side. So make sure in your notes you're starting all the way over here at the left side. First step, again, label your points. So this is X, this is Y, this is X, this is Y. This is ordered pair number 1, ordered pair number 2. Okay. Third step is to draw a quick sketch, or the second step I should say. So my first ordered pair is -6, so left 6 and then down 2. Again, this is just a very rough sketch. Okay, my second point is +10, -8, so it might look something like that. Alright, when I connect these, is it going to be a positive or a negative slope? And the answer that we can see is m is equal to a negative, because if we put our pencil down here and trace it up, our pencil is going to be going to the left. So my answer had better be a negative slope. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to do m equals rise over run, which is equal to the change in y over the change in x. Okay. y2 minus y1. You guys should be ahead of me on this because you guys can write quicker than I can on this computer. x2 minus x1. Alright, again, I'm going to write these above. That way I can see exactly what I'm plugging in. Okay, don't forget that minus sign in between. Alright, so y2 I have here is -8. Okay, again, your guys' work should be a lot nearer than mine. And then y1 is -2. Okay, x2 was 10, and x1 is -6. Okay, when I simplify these, a -8 minus -2 turns into +, so I would have -6 over 10 minus -6 turns into a +16. Okay, and then a negative divided by positive I know is a negative. Okay, does that match what I found over here for what it should be? And the answer is yes, it absolutely does. And then we got to reduce 6 over 16, so you can use your calculator, punch that in, reduce it, or I'm going to just do it by hand. So that would be -3 over 16 divided by 2 is 8. So my final answer would be m equals -3 over 8. Okay, that's my final slope. Okay. All right. You guys again should have a little bit more room than I do to do an example number 4 down here in the corner, because again I have to write a lot bigger than you guys do on the computer. I think though what we will do is, let's see. No, I don't want to. Okay, you guys can just, again, you should have more room. I want you guys to do an example 4 here, and I want you to find the slope of a line that crosses through these 2 points. So the first point I'm going to give you is -4, 5, and then the second point would be 0, 5. Okay? I want you to follow the steps, find the slope of this line, okay, and then hit go ahead and hit pause now, find that, and then once you think you have the answer, hit play again, and I'll have the work done for you and you can see what I got. Okay, so go ahead and hit pause now and solve it. Okay, so here's what I got. I got 5 minus 5 is 0. 0 minus -4 is a +4. Anytime I have 0 divided by a number, I know that the slope is just 0. And actually, if you did the rough sketch, which you should have done, okay, my first point, -4, 5 would be about right there, and then 0, 5 would be about right here. What kind of line is that going to form? A horizontal line. How much fun is it to sled on a horizontal line? 0 fun. Okay, so that's how we know that one. So there are two kind of, again, with a lot of this unit, there are kind of a few awkward or weird ones. Okay, those 2 awkward ones on these, and ones that we have to really understand, are slopes that are undefined and slopes that are 0. Okay, if we have a 0 in the denominator, okay, we know that it's going to be undefined. If we have a 0 in the numerator, however, we know that the slope is going to be 0. Okay, of course we're going to make these a little bit more difficult, and to get the more difficult ones, I want to make sure that we all understand a really important concept. So the y-intercept is simply the ordered pair, and again, my handwriting on this is not good, I realize that. The ordered pair, or we could say pairs, where lines cross the y-axis. Okay, where lines cross the y-axis. So I want you, actually let's just go down to this one really quickly. What do you think the x-intercept is? Okay, well the x-intercept is the ordered pairs where the line crosses the x-axis. Okay, you guys go ahead and copy down up above. It's simply the same thing. The x-intercept is the ordered pairs where the line crosses now the x-axis. So hit pause, get that down quickly. Alright, the next thing that I want you to do is I want you to graph these points, these 3 points right here, graph them on this coordinate plane, and then write out, make sure you're using a pencil, write out small up above here what you notice, and leave some space here because I'm going to go through with you what I noticed, so make sure you leave some space. Once you graph those, come down, graph these 3 points, okay, and then write out what you notice. Okay, so go ahead and pause now and go ahead and do those. Okay, you should have yours graphed. I have my 3 points graphed. So when I look at this, I notice that all of these points, these 3 points, are all on the y-axis. Okay, now let's look at these points. What do we notice about these 3 points? Okay, well, they all have a value of 0. Right? They all have a value of 0. For which one? Is it the x or the y? Well, in each case, the x value in the ordered pair is 0. Okay? This is a really important point, that all points on the y-axis have an x as 0. And it seems kind of weird, like, if they're on the y-axis, why do they have an x as 0? Well, let me explain to you, right? With any ordered pair, we're going to start off with the x and then with the y, right? So if you have an x of 0, you start at the origin, you say, okay, well, I'm not going to go left, I'm not going to go right, that's 0, so you stay there. And then the y just tells me to go up or down, so I don't go left, I don't go right, I stay there, and then I just go up or down. So that's why the x is 0, and the y can be any number, and that's going to end up on the y-axis. So a really important key point, okay, is that, okay, points on the y-axis have an x of 0. Have an x of 0. So it's always going to look like this. 0 and a number. If you see 0 and a number, you know that that point is going to be somewhere on the y-axis. Okay, somewhere on the y-axis. All right. So the smart cut here is that the x value in an ordered pair of the y-intercept is always, and this is kind of the key point that we just wrote, right? But we learn things much better if we write it on our own versus just filling in the blank. So then it says write the ordered pair. So if it says the y-intercept is 4, well, y-intercept tells me it's on the y-axis. What do I know about any point on the y-axis? I know that the x is always going to be 0. Again, if it's on the y-axis, this is so important that you guys understand it. If it's on the y-axis, it's going to have an x of 0. Okay? And then in this case, it tells me the y is going to be 4. Okay? What about this one? It says the y-intercept is -2. Well, what do I know about any point that's on the y-axis? And that's what the y-intercept is saying. It crosses the y-axis at -2. any point on the y-axis or the y-intercept is going to have an x of 0. So 0, -2 would be this one. You guys go ahead and do the last two quickly. You go and hit pause and do the last two. Okay, you should have found these to be. Let's see, this one would be 0 and 1. And then this one would be crosses the y-axis. I know that's going to have a 0 for x and then -6. Okay, so important that you understand that. So if you don't, hit rewind and go back and listen to that again. Or if you still have questions, again, write a big question mark somewhere and write exactly what you don't understand. Okay, all right, let's go on to these. Okay, same concept. First of all, there is a typo that I want to correct. So this should be the y. Let me zoom in here. So make sure you change this in your notes. This should be the, cross it out and put the y value in an ordered pair at the x-intercept. So then that's x-intercept is always 0. And let's go over this to make sure that we understand it. Okay, if you look at my 3 points here, right, if we look at the point that's always 0, it's always the what value that's 0. It's always the y value that's 0. Okay, here's why. Okay, any ordered pair, again, we start off with the x and we go left to right. So all these points, like this one, we went left 2. Okay, once we went left 2, did we go up or down? No, we didn't. That's why it's 0. This one, we went right 1, and then did we go up or down? No. So basically, all these, we go left to right, and then we don't go up or down at all, which is why it's 0 for the y. So let's look then at these next ones. So if it says, oh, write the ordered pair of the x-intercept is 5. Well, anytime I'm talking x-intercept, okay, I know that the y is going to be 0. Okay, and you guys, if you forget that, like, oh, x-intercept, which one's 0? Okay, draw a point on the x-axis, or x-intercept, meaning it crosses the x-axis, at 5. What's this ordered pair going to be? Well, I'm going to go right 5, and then I don't go up or down. Okay, so again, if you forget, just draw out a coordinate plane really quickly, draw the point, and then think, oh, what's this point? Okay, x-intercept of -3. I know anytime I'm talking the x-intercept, the what is 0? The y value is 0. Okay, and then this one would be -3. Okay, hit pause and fill out these next two. Okay, so you should have had these. Don't let me trick you with this one. We know that this is still, it says x-axis is going to be 0. Okay, and then we just plug in the x, or the x value here, we know is going to be 0. Okay, so now we get into the trickier problems. Okay, it says, what is the slope of a line? So my answer had better be m equals something. Okay, that passes through -2, 1, and has a y-intercept of 3. Okay, so far, we know in order to find the slope, we need 2 ordered pairs. So you may be thinking right now, ah, crap, I only know 1 ordered pair. It only gave me 1. Okay, well, use your head. Can we figure out another ordered pair from this piece of information right here? And the answer had better be yes. We just went over that. Okay, if it has a y-intercept of 3, again, picture this coordinate plane, right? Y-axis crosses at 3. What's this point going to be? Well, we're going to start off for the x. We're not going to go left. We're not going to go right. So we're going to stay at 0. And then we're going to go up 3. Looky there. We have 2 points. How do you find the slope when you're given 2 points? We just went over this. This is where you're going to do the m equals rise over run, change in y over change in x, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and then substitute in your values and figure out the slope. Okay, so I'm just going over this quickly because this is the same that we just did on the 2 pages before. Okay, practice 2 says find what is the slope of a line that passes through the point 1, -3, okay, and crosses the x-axis at 5. Well, oh no, freak out, you don't have 2 points. Yes, you do. It just gives you the information in a different way. Okay, x-axis at 5. Again, I like to just draw these out. X-axis crosses at 5. What's this point going to be? Well, to get to that point, I got to go right 5, and then I don't go up or down. So right 5 is positive 5. Don't go up or down is 0. There you go. Now you have 2 points. Okay, now you can find the slope. All right, one last one. Let's see. Okay, practice 3. What is the slope of a line? Yep, answer had better be m equals. Again, start with the end in mind. Think about what should my answer look like. Oh, it shouldn't be m equals 0. I don't know why I did that. Okay, it should just be m equals something. Okay, of a line that passes through the origin and the point. Oh no, I don't have 2 points. Freak out. No, calm down. Origin. What do we know about the origin? Well, the origin point is 0, 0. There are your 2 points. Go to town, plug them in, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Figure out what the slope is. Okay. All right. This next problem, you should be able to do it. Oh wait, hang on, real quick. This is a fun one. M equals a number. What is the slope? My answer should be m equals a number. Holy cow! It doesn't give you any points. Freak out. Just joking. Don't. 2 pieces of information. You had better be able to find the ordered pairs from this point. Okay. I want you to do this one quickly. Okay. So hit pause, do this one, and then once you got it, hit play, and I'll show you the work that I did for it. Okay, we're back. Again, these are the 2 ordered pairs for this. You should have been able to find the slope, and these finding the slope of the ones on this page, we will check these in class. But again, you should know how to do these based on the previous 2 pages. So that concludes today's lesson. Definitely try this one on your own. When we get to class, we will compare our problems for this and try to come up with some tricky ones. I challenge you to come up with some tricky ones to try to stump your teammates on this. Okay, we will see you in the next lesson.